Welcome back to West Texas View.
Welcome back to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and Jeremy Newsom, a senior airman with the Air Force, is our guest today. And we've been talking this program about the opportunities and mission of the Air Force. And that's one of the things I want us to continue with this part of the program, is to talk about the mission of the Air Force.
Mission of the Air Force is one of those things that every person in the Air Force is going to have a different mission. So we take all those little pieces of the puzzle and then we kind of add them up together, you know, to protect our freedom that we have in the United States.
But the overall mission is to protect the nation.
Yes, ma'am.
And so that means whether it's on our shore or off our shore. And so when you look at the opportunities of seeing the world, as you said, literally you could be stationed anywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely the Air Force, we have bases all the way around the world. Anywhere from South Korea to Japan to Italy, all stateside. In every state we have at least 1 or 2 bases in every state.
In South America?
Yes, ma'am. We're located everywhere. Our freedom, we have to protect it no matter where we're at.
And so if I had a career path that there was a base in Venezuela, then would I have a certain length of time that I was assigned there? Or if I was going to fly a base that flew over Iraq, would I have a certain, you're going to be there for 2 years or 1 year, or do I get there and it just depends on when they need me somewhere else?
We kind of have different standards for single and for married individuals. If you're single, you're going to be at a base for a certain amount of time, whereas if you're married, you're going to be there for a little bit longer because it takes a little longer time for your family to get situated, for your children to get in school and things like that. So it just all depends on your current situation, whether you're married or single.
And you were married while you were still in the military, or had...
I came in single. I actually got married about my 2nd year while I was in the Air Force.
And your wife was in the military when you married, or she had already gotten out?
She was in the military at the same time.
Okay. And so then, after y'all married, she got out of the military.
Yes, ma'am.
And so now, is she using what she had learned in her career path outside, or is she just raising her child right now, but eventually wants to get into the job market?
She's kind of doing a little bit of both. Because my wife right now, she's actually going to school. She's a full-time student. She's actually using her Montgomery GI Bill that she got from the Air Force. So she's having the opportunity to get her education paid for at the same time. But she's doing her job while she was in was avionics. Right now she's doing human resources. So she's taking those leadership courses that she got while she was in the Air Force and using those to do other things in the civilian world.
So it's really making her job easier as a student.
Yes, ma'am.
Because of what she got there.
Yes, ma'am.
And also helping her to make some choices that
yes,
she had.
ma'am.
But if she ever wanted to go back into the military, could she go back in and pick up that prior experience and add it on to her?
She could. The way it goes with the Air Force when it comes to prior service is all according to time. There's always jobs that we're really looking for prior service, meaning people who got out of the military and then trying to come back in.
Like nursing is one of those things.
Yes, ma'am.
There's never enough.
Yes,
ma'am. So if someone wanted to go into the military, even though they might not have done it at 18 or 22 and wanted to at 29, they could possibly go into the military.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were talking about the test that they have to take after they say, I want to join, but they still have to take the test to see if they're eligible. Is that test to see that they can do those particular jobs they've asked for? For example, did you have to take a job to see that if you had the aptitude for heating and air conditioning, or was this an intelligence test, an IQ test?
It's an aptitude test, and that's exactly what it tells us. It tells us, number one, if you're qualified for the Air Force. After that, then it's going to tell us what jobs you qualify for, just off your natural abilities. Is what
so that's almost like the test you take in public schools.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
aptitude test you take
Exactly.
there.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not anything really different. Is there any kind of psychological test or anything
No, ma'am.
like that?
It's just seeing what you already have just naturally in your brain.
And so, did you have an opportunity to choose to go to the front line? For example, if you wanted to go to Afghanistan.
In the Air Force, the way it goes is we have what's called deployment cycles, and you have a window of opportunity to when you can deploy, so it helps you kind of build time around your family. You know when that window of opportunity is. And those cycles are 6-month spans, so you have 6 months to when you can deploy and then a year to where you cannot deploy in the Air Force.
What if I wanted to come in with a buddy?
We do have the buddy system, so you do have that opportunity to have you and your friend come in at the same time.
And what if the friend wanted to choose something else? Not, I wanted to choose air conditioning and he wanted to choose computers, and so then would we go to different places for our basic training?
We only have one basic training in the Air Force. So
and that's
you all
where?
In San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Macklin Air Force Base.
Okay.
So both of you all are going to be there together. After that, then you all will split up depending on your jobs.
But there's a possibility we might stay together for a while.
Yes, ma'am. At least through all of your training, at least through basic training and tech school. If you all came in with the same career opportunities, then you all can follow the same path.
Well, right this minute, what is the most popular career choice?
The most popular right now is our mechanical jobs. A lot of people want to do things with their hands. So that's the biggest thing, is a lot of people want to come into the Air Force and get something that they can use in the civilian world. And mechanical is the best way to do it.
That is interesting. Because I just assumed you were going to say computer science was the most.
We have very few far in between people want to work with computers.
But I understood that from somebody that meteorology was a real popular career
Yes,
choice.
ma'am, it is.
A lot of people go get their meteorology training through the military.
Definitely, yes, ma'am. That opportunity is definitely there. And again, we have over 150 jobs, so anything you can think of, just about, we're going to have it. Also, if you wanted to just look at the jobs that the Air Force has and some of the opportunities that we didn't discuss today, you can go to airforce.com to get a lot of the information that we may have touched on, and you want a little bit more information on something that we forgot to say today.
Well, that's the real clue here, is that we have information that we could not possibly put together in this program, and so that number that's rolling across the screen is really important.
Yes, ma'am.
And so our time is almost up today, but is there anything else that you'd like to say? Would you like to tell where your offices are? I know that you serve this whole catchment area
Yes,
of many counties.
I have 2 offices. One office is being in Odessa, Music City Mall. I'm right next to Fudd Records. If you come through that entrance, you cannot miss me. Also, I have an office on 4706 North Midkiff in Midland. So I have 2 offices to where you can get in contact with me. But the best way is just the phone number that's at the bottom of the screen.
And so if someone from Crane or Seminole or somewhere else wanted, then you could tell them which office would be the best for them to come to, based on the information you get on the phone. Well, it's been such a pleasure to have Jeremy Newsome here today, and he stands ready to answer any questions that you have if you're considering a career in the Air Force. Join me next Sunday for another program about the military. See you then.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB-TV and KWES-TV.